Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, March 28th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As usual, a reminder that we operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. Here at the beginning of the call, we like to offer an opportunity for anyone new to the call to introduce themselves. Looks like we're all regulars today, so optional if everybody wants to introduce themselves, but I will go on ahead because I use it as an excuse to explain what this group is. Hello, everyone. I'm Chasm Fields, and I am one of the co-leads of this sub-project, which is the uh, contributor communications sub-project within the special interest group for contributor experience in open source Kubernetes. And the purpose of this group is to make sure that folks within the contributor community know about awesome things that are going on that might be relevant to them, and also that folks outside of the contributor community know about the awesome work that contributors are doing. We accomplish this because love that note. Not because we accomplish this through running social media platforms, creating blog posts, doing a variety of things related to communications. And my pronouns are she, her. Anyone else want to introduce themselves today?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Understandable. If you've seen any of our other recordings, you've probably seen all these folks before. All righty. Last item, note taker. I'm just going to do it.
Thank you.
Unless anybody particularly wants to do it. Everybody join in. That's, you know how this works. Just join in and take some notes. All right, so let's move into the agenda. If you have any agenda items that you want to add in, please make sure that you do. We have one agenda item so far. We'll have to find out what that means. The con of cubes. What could that possibly be about?
I have no idea. I like calling it that because it's like, wait, oh, that's right. Yeah, technically that's right. The con of cubes.
Arguable.
I don't know if they're even having an issue next week. I forget if it was in this meeting last week. Yeah. It might have been in SIG ContribEx. It might have been in this meeting last week. I forget. But they said they needed new people.
That is
after
true.
KubeCon. Yeah. After KubeCon, they want to add new people to the roster. And I think Josh said he might not have an LWKD next week as a result of KubeCon. So, yeah.
That would make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have any intel?
Nope.
All right. Sounds good. Anything going on in messages of the week? There are a couple of messages from the Maintainer Summit comms team that I think are still in awaiting approval in Buffer. If Chris, you want to hop in there and do that while we're doing this.
Doing it right now.
Yeah, they pinged me about it last night and I was in the middle of things and didn't get it done. So now it's the morning and we should probably check on that. One thing to note is they were asking. Oh, yeah, there's a few that got stuck that also need resending probably. I hadn't taken a look at them to see if they needed any editing with the resend, so I hadn't done it. A note on the Maintainer Summit things though. As we said on the Wednesday meeting, as Mario said, and Mario's here, we're full on the Maintainer Summit, right? So they asked me to review a couple of messages yesterday and they were promoting registration. And I was like, I don't know that you want to promote registration at this point. So I told them to ask in Summit staff. I don't know if they did.
I mean, registration is closed since yesterday.
Oh, well, there you go.
Arvin said that he went, this was yesterday afternoon my time, he went to the page and he could still register, he thought. But maybe...
Maintainers.
We can check that, can't we?
Yeah, we might want to look at that.
I guess I haven't registered, so maybe I'm the best person to check.
Yeah, maybe.
Our pit, maybe.
Registration is closed since Thursday, March 27th, 2025 at 0 GMT. So
is that what the page says?
Yeah, and you also can't click the button.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So I don't know what he's talking about.
Maybe he could yesterday before UTC midnight. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Well, so just as you're approving those, check to see if they mention registering, and if they do, maybe just cut that off.
Yeah, so I don't think they did, but let me triple check.
I mean, if they did, then they'll go to this page and it'll be closed, and that'll be fine.
No, there's nothing that mentions registration in the queue.
No harm done. Cool. So, some messages about Maintainer Summit. Did you notice something interesting?
No, sorry.
Cool. Any other messages of the week? One is KubeCon tweets. Go ahead.
CVEs.
The CVE.
Oh, yeah. CVE.
KubeCon posts. So for the CVEs, we did have automatic posts go out on the platforms that automatically post about blog posts. And so I reposted those on Twitter and on Blue Sky. I could do that again. I posted them the first time, and then I thought I came up with, and by came up with, I mean an AI came up with much better wording. Hey.
Yeah.
So I posted it again on Blue Sky with the better wording. It was just clearer about like, here's why this is important. It's likely to affect you, as it says in the blog post. It's like over 40% of the fleet has this. So, so reposted that on Blue Sky, but we could do another set of reposts of that
for sure.
I posted in the Slack channel some graphs of the spikes that we saw in engagement with the CVE posts. I don't know if everyone has seen it.
Oh, no.
But if you go to SIG ContribEx comms, I posted some interesting graphs.
Look at that. 10% uptick in clicks. 14%, sorry. Average engagement rate is up 75%. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's a X Kubernetes IO, Kate's contributors, and then LinkedIn. Because we don't have those graphs for Blue Sky, because Blue Sky still doesn't have an API that Buffer can use to make these graphs.
Right. But you can go see engagement on the post individually if you need it, which I'm not going to say go and get stats on that if it's not in Buffer, unless it's like burning hot news.
Indeed. But interesting stuff. So, Mario, was there anything in particular you wanted to say about the CVEs, or just a reminder that those exist?
Yeah, those just that we did the comms, but I mean, and the discussion that has been started regarding posting CVEs to the main account, I think makes sense.
Yeah, so I was going to set up the same post we do for blogs, but basically also have it for CVEs as well. There's already a JSON and RSS feed for that, so all we have to do is plug it into existing stuff.
Yeah.
And off we go.
Reasonable. So should run it by the security folks before implementing it.
Yeah, that was the next step.
Sounds good. Could do that now.
I'm doing it.
Implement automated posting based on CVE RSS feed. Good stuff. Anything else about the CVE shenanigans? So another thing I put on here was KubeCon posts. I think I wrote 2 of them, and I don't think anyone else has written any. So literally right before this call, I was working on a script to have AI write them. We were discussing what our process should be going forward in the ContribEx meeting earlier this week. We were leaning toward keeping it as something that is available for new contributors. So maybe actually removing the acceptance of AI posts initially when we post the opportunity. And also we need to be better about posting the opportunity and encouraging folks to contribute to that in this small way. All you have to do is write a little 280 character thing. Unless you're doing LinkedIn, then you can write more. And so continue to have that open as an opportunity for new contributors on a regular basis. But then as we get close, when we have slots that aren't filled, then we can, as the management team of that project, can use AI to fill those in so that it doesn't take forever for them to write them by hand, as we have done in the past.
I will basically go and fill them in on Sunday afternoon.
I'm hoping to get drafts in for everything today so that we can get those scheduled, because I think they go a good ways before it. I don't know if we had any that we had intended to post today. Actually, I have it open right here. Let's find out. March 30th, so not until
which is
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll try to make sure that you have drafts. If you have time to get in there and make drafts, you're welcome to, but I'm sure that you have plenty of other things on your mind. So I'll try to make sure there are drafts in there, and then we want to make sure that we start getting those published. In the past, I have done it day by day. Get to the end of the day on KubeCon, draft the post for the next day, put them in the
Oh, wow. Oh, jeez.
Or we do it Salt Lake City again, like 2-3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
On
Doing
Sunday.
It during the keynotes.
Yeah.
Asking Chris to help us from afar.
No, Caslin, you're going to be the person this time.
It's me. My turn.
But you have to get up for European times.
Yes.
That's fine. I'll just be awake at midnight. That'll be fine. It's not so bad on the West Coast. Midnight.
I'm going to try very hard not to bring a laptop into the venue after Maintainer Summit. So hopefully we don't have too many issues.
That's what I try to do. I've taken to the fanny pack. Fanny pack life at KubeCons.
Yes, I will be doing a crossover bag of sorts that I got from OpenSearch.
The smaller your footprint, the better.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Have too much talks. Need laptops for those.
That'll happen.
That is the thing, yes.
It's even more important for Google Cloud Next because security is higher.
Oh, really? Do they not let you bring?
Oh,
you can. You have to stop at security and let them look at it.
Yeah.
Odd. Okay.
I mean,
by the way, we have final numbers for registrations.
Oh boy, here we go.
362.
For the Maintainer Summit.
For the Maintainer Summit.
The cap was what? 350, you said?
350. 350 is the cap.
Okay. So not too bad over. If a few folks don't make it, then
yeah, we're good.
Be right at it.
It's fine.
As long as 350 isn't the fire code, which I would assume it's not, should be okay.
No, there's like the goal was 300. The goal was 300 people.
Oh, great! That's awesome then.
No problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Kubernetes contributors can do that on their own. How big was the last contributor summit?
Not as big.
No, it wasn't.
Was it not?
No.
Let me pull. I have it somewhere. I have numbers somewhere. Give me a second. Main November KCSNA planning notes. You just need to remember where the stuff is.
Where located. The stuff is?
So for registration, attendee tracker. So for KubeCon North America, we had 208 last year. And for Salt Lake City and for Chicago, it was 218. And for Detroit, it was 212.
So presumably around a third non-Kubernetes people.
Yeah, but
1 out of 4 tracks is Kubernetes.
Let me pull up numbers for Europe. KubeCon. Oh. KCS EU planning notes. Branding planning doc. It's loading. Attendee tracker, 227 for Paris, 198 for Amsterdam, and 117 for the online one.
Wow.
Interesting.
Today I learned. I mean, it's great that we added more folks, like projects.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's about what I would expect. Mostly Kubernetes people, and some folks from other projects will be checking it out. Sounds good. So for messages of the week, KubeCon posts, which I guess is essentially this one, we approved those Container Summit messages. There's still the CVE thing going on, which we might want to continue to post a little bit more about and set up that automation. Any other messages of the week? Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. You're right. Hopefully not, indeed.
I could ask where are we in the release process, but it's not like we own that, and it's KubeCon time, so we'll let them worry about that. So let's move on to new items. Like we mentioned, LWKD is interested in recruiting new folks. Any other new items that folks have noticed that might need help?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so at this stage of KubeConing. KubeCon starts in like 3 days. It's already started, arguably.
Yeah. I mean,
'tis the season.
For some reason, like I'm very anxious about this trip, and I'm not usually anxious about KubeCon for some reason. So I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Job change and coming back into it.
Yeah, maybe.
Can happen. Yeah. So in updates and big wins, I saw, Frederico, that you posted updates on blogs. Do you want to go ahead and start talking about those here?
Yeah.
I guess I can add one other thing before you, as you pull that up, which is the social media mentoring cohort. I have not lost track of it. I said on Wednesday that I was going to try to create some docs outlining what the program will be so that we're ready to go after KubeCon. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but I have some time today, so hopefully I will do that today. And if I don't, next time. 2 options for a task: done or not done. If it's not done, it either doesn't matter anymore or keeps mattering, so you keep trying to do it. Cool. So that's the only update I have. So let's talk about blogs.
Yeah, I mean, this sort of overlaps with the project board, but I think it's useful to go about it now. And I'll actually start with that. I made a couple of changes to the project board as well, in line with the conversations that we had when Josh was here, and not only that, but other conversations that we had in terms of making the board something that can be a bit more operational in terms of providing the right level of information for people that want to, or in this case, people that need to take action. So I added a couple of descriptive description to the columns, so that's reasonably minor. But then I added 2 new columns and renamed one. So we, by the way, we used to have just a ready for review column, and that was pretty much it. In place of that, and by the way, this is a suggestion, but I went ahead and did it because I think it's better for us to discuss this with something and then refactor it if needed. Instead of a single column for ready for review, that left open a couple of different things, which was it's ready for review where. I mean, because we are discussing things around using HackMD and Google Docs and GitHub, so it wasn't clear where this was actually ready for review. And also, the ready for review made it difficult for those that need to LGTM and approve to know exactly which one of them were just waiting for that. So that's why I added sort of this, replace that one with this tree one. So after, and this flows as a general path forward, right? Hopefully until done. So after in progress, things, some sort of content exists, goes into a preliminary review. What is that? That's any kind of review that's outside of GitHub. Could be Google Docs, could be HackMD, could be whatever, but this signals that we have questions, we have things, but we're not talking about the PR that's opened yet. Then we have a PR review, which means that we've opened the PR and it's at least ready to be discussed on the GitHub PR. Why is this important? Because once we open the PR, all other venues of discussion stop making sense. You really can't go back to HackMD or Google Docs to restart the conversation. After you open the PR, everything goes into that PR discussion. And finally, the waiting for approval, which is where PRs that already have had all is a very strong word, but they had comments, they had reviews, they were addressed and resolved, and they are essentially waiting for an LGTM or an approve or something like that. And that would be in the waiting for approval, which would be where contributor side approvers could take a look and go there and approve things. So this is the proposal, but obviously this is just an initial proposal for up for discussion.
I love it. This is awesome. It's also, yeah, like you said, it's much clearer for folks who want to help out with reviews. If you want to help out with content reviews and proofreading and making sure something's ready to go into a PR, then it's much clearer which ones you could hop into, which is usually what I want to do. Whereas once it gets into PR, it's like we're working with the reviewers on those sites. Yep. So this is awesome.
And I've tried also to sort of align that with the current state of the actually it's in there the last one in the PR review, the add guides to blog contributions, which is that website PR around restructuring the way that reviews are done, which also affects us. So that's one of the outcomes of the discussions that we're having. I made it in a way that doesn't conflict with whatever is the current state of this. Obviously, there will be more discussions, and I actually think that a good deal of them can happen in KubeCon next week. I'm not going to KubeCon, so I'll have to catch up on that later. But anyway, whatever ends up being decided, I think the current structure is adequate. And if it isn't for some reason, if we need to add some additional column or whatever to reflect some processual change that gets decided, that's easy to do as well.
Sounds good. Looks lovely. Thank you very much for working on that.
It was long overdue. It should have been done like 1 month ago, but it was, since it's one of those things, the simple stuff gets permanently delayed until it becomes critical again.
Exactly. Only 2 states for something that's not done. It doesn't matter anymore, or you'll get back around to it later.
Yeah, exactly.
A month or so is nothing to this team. Have things that have needed to be done for much longer than that. Another thing I like about the new task flow arrangement is with the waiting for approval column, it'll be a little bit easier to see when something is just stuck in that loop of trying to get the publish date.
The dates, yeah, that was the main reason. Yeah.
Excellent. So that's updates about the board. Did you want to do updates about the individual posts?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them, or at least all the ones that I have some feedback on. So the SIG infra, I'm trying to catch up with Priya to get, yeah, Priya Akansha Priya, yeah, to get back the status of it, because I changed laptops, so I lost my history, which means that I must rely on stuff that's written in Slack, and I can't find the links in Slack. So I don't have the ACMD link, because that's not a link that I created. It was provided to me. So anyway, last time that I remember, there was content, but I don't know where it is. So I've asked so that we can restart this and move forward. The SRC spotlights. So I've asked in Slack again for the interest. We're still in the gathering interests stage. The SRC is a bit of a weird, or not weird, but peculiar case here, because unlike Spotlight, which have all the shares and the leads in Slack, and they have and they can operate like that, the SRC is a much more email based, with several different distribution lists, depending on, some of them are private, some of them are not, some of them are only for members. And I did send an email for the lists. I didn't get a reply, so now I'm going to get back to Slack and say, actually, that's what I did last week. I've sent an email. If you have any interest, just let me know. So still on it, but still no reply from. I have a couple of replies individually, but the thing is that the individually, they do not want to commit to having this done, so it needs to be something done at a whatever level. So whenever I have something new, I'll post it.
All good. We were talking about kind of doing less blogs for a bit while we figure out the blog merge concept. So this is a good state to be in.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. I mean, we do have one now that you mentioned it, the steering spotlight, and Arpit just he's here, so he can provide the status himself, obviously.
Yep. So the spotlight, the final draft is ready. The only thing is I need to add some hyperlinks on the blog, and I can send it. I can send a raw draft right now. I guess the link will not change. So I am sending it in the Slack.
Yeah.
Question. Since it's done, should we hold on posting it until we're closer to the election?
We can, but then again,
it would be several months.
Right.
The thing is, my follow-up question is that if we hold up, do we need to change the replies, or do we need to add some more questions as the election is approaching? We can make it like a bit latest, and what I can say, a bit crispier to read as elections are approaching. So
yeah, could be. If you think there's enough content that you would want to add for elections, then we could split it and go ahead and publish this one. And then later, as the elections loom, we could do another blog post where you ask them a few additional questions about the election and point people to the older blog posts for more information about normal steering stuff. That could work. Up to you as the writer, what you prefer.
Let me know if this link is accessible. I have shared it in the chat.
Let me... It's interesting that it didn't make the whole thing a link. Clickable link in the chat. There we go. Looks beautiful. Yep, I'm able to get to it and it looks good. On just like a initial look. If anybody wants to review that, it is available. And is it in the... Yeah, and it's in the preliminary review column. So that is available. I will be focused on getting those KubeCon tweets done, so I don't know that I will get around to it, but I'm glad that it exists. And I thank you, Arpit, for your work. Any other? Go ahead.
Yep. Also, like I have written that contributor guide, and the feedback I got last time is like it is too lengthy, so I have divided it into 2 parts.
Right.
Now I want to know like how to proceed with it. I am sharing that to the chat. Both the parts.
A blog post that's published is better than one that isn't, even if it's too long or weirdly cut.
Correct.
That's my motto.
I can get behind that.
So I'd say go ahead and move forward with it if you're comfortable with how it was cut. If you still have reservations and would not be happy posting it as it is, post it as the original long blog post.
I am okay like in either case, like posting it as a whole or posting it in 2 parts. Because I have not edited the original version where it's like it's a whole document. So I have made separate 2 docs for it. So I have the original as well. So
I do have thoughts, actually. You might want to go ahead and ask the SIG Docs blog folks. You could hop into the SIG Docs blogs channel or ask Tim Bannister directly since he hangs out in our comms channel. Thank you, Tim. You could ask them to take a quick look at your HackMD files if you want to post on Kubernetes IO so that you can get their feedback on whether they would accept this or not before you create a PR, or you could just post it on K's contributors. Is that your plan?
What's the criteria to post it on both? Like, I don't know it yet. Like, I know there is some talk going around of merging both the platforms, if I'm not wrong.
Exactly. Yep.
So, like how it works, I am okay with either of that. So if this like if it is not too lengthy, we can post it in 2 parts or like a single blog as well.
Yeah, I think it would make sense to post on Kubernetes IO because this is something that's meant for a broad audience, being new contributor orientation. The contributor side is aimed at existing contributors, ideally, so it wouldn't reach those folks who are trying to get into the contributor community. So I think it would be good to post on Kubernetes IO, but it's a question of whether the team on that site would accept it because they have stricter rules about what they accept. So we might ask for their opinions before going to PR, just to make their lives a little bit easier once it is in a PR. Because otherwise we create the PR and then they're like, actually, we don't want it to be this long, or we think this content doesn't make sense on Kubernetes IO or something like that. Yeah. We can go ahead and answer those questions before we make the PR.
Yeah, and actually, that's what's in our own current process documentation. We should determine the targets of the contents before opening the PRs. But we do know that it's a list, at least it's for the contributor side. So yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds like we have a path forward. Go ahead.
So should I ping Sylvester or Tim about this? Like how we are proceeding? Like are we posting it on Gates, Kubernetes.io, or for now we are posting it on Gates.dev?
I would ask Tim Bannister. You can either ping Tim Bannister directly in the comms channel or just post in the SIG Docs blog channel and say like, hey, I'm working on a comms blog post that I'm interested in posting on Kubernetes.io. I want some initial feedback from the reviewers for the Kubernetes.io blog. And just ask in SIG Docs blog. That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
And Chris posted a link, I assume, to the channel.
Yes, just in case you can't find it.
Slack links are so annoying to me because they like try to open in the browser and I'm like, no, I want you to open in the
open in the
client.
other thing.
Yeah, so I'd post in SIG Docs blog and explain the situation that you're seeking preliminary feedback before creating a PR.
Yep.
Excellent. Any other questions on that or anything on the board?
I have an update regarding SIG Docs Spotlight.
Excellent.
I will send the updated doc after the KubeCon. I don't think anyone will be available to reply to the doc now. So after KubeCon, I will send the single doc, and let's hope that will get done soon.
Sounds good. I'll add that status here. Get this going after KubeCon. And if you haven't mentioned that in a comment on Frederico's post in the comms channel, you might do that as well, just so that other folks on the team know that you're going to be working on that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Any other blog or board things?
A minor update. I'm still with KubeCon, I'm not very concerned, but I'm still transcribing the last SIG architecture one. I always say that it's next week, but it's a bit like that turtle with Achilles run. I advanced like half of what's left, but then it's still half of the last mile missing. So there's always something missing, because transcription is a bit of a bore, because even with automated mechanisms you need to
you gotta
prove stuff, etc. So but I'm nearing the end, and I think that with this buffer that we have now with KubeCon and the discussion going on, etc., we're in good position to be able to open the PR somewhere late next month or so. And that's it for me. Nothing more comes to mind.
Sounds good. Cool. So one other thing that I added into the notes while we were doing all of that is Arpit said that he wants to do more speaking.
Oh.
So let's help him find speaking opportunities. Just a call to the group to help out there. Lots of us do lots of speaking, and we know lots of events and opportunities for speaking. So if you have any that might be a good fit for Arpit, make sure that he knows about them.
Absolutely.
Cool. So with that, go ahead.
I have a repository where all or a lot of CFPs are in. I just need to find it in my stars.
The one that Orly runs?
Maybe. I don't know.
It probably is. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can find it and send it.
Orly CFP repo.
Too many start repositories in GitHub.
Yep, there it is. Developer conferences agenda. Yep, that's it. That's the one I was thinking of anyway.
Wait, can I get a link to that? Thank you.
In chat.
This is amazing because I know we need it at work and I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's this one.
I literally searched Orly CFP repo, I think. So that is a handy link where a variety of folks from the community help out with making sure that it's up to date with a variety of speaking opportunities and events and CFPs that are open and when they close. There's so much good information there.
Yeah.
Yes, I need to keep my eye on this better, for sure.
Don't we all?
Well.
And we have 10 minutes left in the meeting. Amazing to be at this stage where we've actually gone through everything. 10 minutes to spare. I could do a deeper dive into the board, or we can call it here and work on those KubeCon posts. Shall we call it and move into 10 minutes of working session?
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining today, everyone. You know where to find us on Slack if you have anything outside of our normal meetings that you want to talk to us about, and we'll see you next time. We'll say goodbye to our friends on YouTube. Bye, YouTube.